It's bright.
It is a bit bright, isn't it?
It's a bit bright.
It is
I
bright.
quite like it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The one I did
like
earlier was really dark and ominous.
That's good.
We see we're the bright and peppy members of the cast. You have a good time when you come in this room.
Good. Guys, congratulations on the show.
Thank you.
It's one of those shows that I actually don't want to talk to you about in some ways. So I don't want anything to be spoiled because I've watched a few episodes and I'm like, I don't want to know what's next. When you guys got the scripts, did you find that when you were watching it, reading it rather, that you kind of didn't want to know what was going on, even though you had to, that you kind of wanted to keep the surprise going?
Yeah, I mean, you do and you don't. It's like with every show. It's like as soon as you reveal the mystery, it's like, but now it's the longing to know the truth is gone. So, yeah, I think we were desperate to know what was going on.
Yeah, definitely, because they're so short as well. You just kind of burst through them. But yeah, no, I love not knowing. I mean, we didn't really know. It was a lot of mystery kind of shrouding the scripts even. I think we didn't get the last episode until a few days before we shot it. So throughout the whole time, we had no idea how this was going to conclude. So it was, that kind of added a bit of, you only really know as much as the characters, so it's kind of helpful in many ways, but and it keeps it quite exciting. Yeah,
I was going to say that. Actually, I was surprised when watching the show that they were half-hour episodes. It was like a sitcom, because I was expecting to say, okay, 45 minutes, 50 minutes of absorbent, and then it was over, and I was like, I need to watch more. But I guess that's kind of the beauty of the show, in that it does leave you wanting more. And I think audiences might be quite, frustrated that this is a show that purposely you're keeping them in waiting for a week. That must be good that people are going to have to wait, like in the old days, that they're going to have to wait.
I think it's good. It kind of gives it room to breathe and to kind of fester, and you can kind of talk about it. It's going to spark a lot of interesting conversations, I think, because you kind of put yourself in it. You think, what would you do in that situation?
Yeah. I told my housemate about it last night, and the only thing I told her, without giving any spoilers, was a bit where Toby picks up the baby by his feet and knocks it over the thing, and she was like, what is this show? This is an awful piece of TV.
Yeah. Everyone gasped at the premiere at that bit.
It's still got me.
Yeah.
That baby's pretty realistic though. Very strange. I've seen the posters now on like trains and train stations. You're like, very strange. Take me back to the beginning when this first came up for you both. How did you get involved, and did you know at the beginning that it was going to be M. Night was going to be involved, or was that kind of discovered along the way?
Yeah, so I knew from the outset that M. Night was involved, and I got episode 1 and I just burned through it straight away, and by the end I was like, okay, I have to do this show, if anything, just so I can be one of the first people to find out what happens. And yeah, I mean, the writing was so engaging and so captivating, and I really loved the character straight away. It was like such a strange, interesting thing to tackle even from the first episode. So that's how I heard about it, and then I auditioned, and here I am.
Was that the same for you?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I actually only got one scene to begin with.
Which
and
scene
it was so out of context. It was these two guys having this really kind of intense conversation about a doll. And obviously I knew Knight's involvement in so you kind of automatically think this intrigues you, it's going to be a ride. And then I read the next 3 scripts, I think, and it was just amazing. I'd never really kind of read anything like it, and because they're so quick, as you say, you kind of tear through them, and it just keeps you really kind of hungry for more. And the fact that it's all so contained in this one place has this incredible atmosphere that it's just very unsettling, surreal, it's disturbing, and it's big topics. It's a very kind of up at the heart of it. It's a very kind of upsetting subject matter to deal with, and it's just fascinating.
Yeah, was this a nice challenge to do something different? Well, obviously, done Harry Potter and stuff like that, but for both of you, the characters are so complex in their own ways. This must have been very exciting as actors to dive into something that was very different and challenged you in different ways that you weren't maybe expecting.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Leanne is she's an 18-year-old girl dealing with like a windmill full of emotions, and she was definitely a difficult character to tackle, but it was so exciting, like knowing that I was like being given the luxury to be challenged, and and to do something that I step outside my comfort zone, and to be a character that's so far from myself, but also I can draw parallels between me and her, and so it was definitely a big challenge to undergo. And also being the scary thing in a scary show is like, okay, I gotta give this my all.
Lots of wine as well. There's a lot of wine drunk in this show.
So much wine.
Is it real wine? I'm always curious with this thing, because it certainly looks like real, but It's always a question when you watch movies and stuff. You're like, are they drinking real wine?
Yeah, but you know what?
I think you drank it.
My memory of it was that it was real wine.
That's
I
so
thought it couldn't have been.
method, Rupert.
I know that's probably what it is. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a wine guy.
It's definitely not wine. It's grape juice.
So that was a challenge, kind of opening wine. I mean, I have wine in every scene. I think Julian is kind of this hedonist who just loves kind of that kind of stuff. If it's weed or something else. So yeah, there was a lot of that, and yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's a really, obviously it's a scary, and there's a lot of kind of unpacking as you're going, but also you get this kind of claustrophobic feel because it's set in one location for a lot of the time. Does that give you kind of a different space to challenge when you're a challenge as actors when you're in one location? It must feel like sort of like a play in some regards, in that it's full on in that kind of one space. Does that put you in a different kind of headspace in terms of your acting?
It does. I find it very helpful actually, because it really does. I mean, as well as that, we shot everything in sequence. So, yeah, it really did feel like a play, and some of the takes were like 4 minutes long sometimes. This continuous take, and you really kind of feel like you obviously kind of staying in it a lot longer. And yeah, and the house has just got this really strange vibe. I mean, it almost is like another character. So it kind of amplifies kind of all the kind of tension that's in a scene, and it's an interesting place to play.
Yeah. And just as a final question, working with Knight, I mean, he comes with the premature of twists and turns and everything else, but as a director, his look and his feel of his movies are very distinctive. I mean, did you get a sense of him as a person when you were working with him, about just why he's become so successful in his craft?
Yeah, I think like the proof's in the work with Knight. I mean, his like the first episode, you can just it's Knight all over, and then he set the tone for the rest of the series. And as a person, he's just the most wonderful, calming presence, and he's up for a laugh, and he's just such a great guy. So yeah, but you can definitely, you can see Knight all over this show, and the first episode is pretty masterful, I think, the way he did it. So yeah.
Good stuff. Well, I wish you all the best with it, guys.
Thank you so much.
See you for season 2, maybe. Fingers crossed, we'll see.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Have a good
Cheers.
one.
Thank you so
Nice
much.
to see you.
Bye.
See you soon.
1-0.
What's your word?
Fish. Yours is fish.
We're both doing fish.
No, mine was windmill.
Did you say windmill?
Yes, dealing with a windmill with emotions.
Oh, yeah, you did, yeah.
Well
Very good.
done.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey,